today I have one of the most potent and one of the most desirable track machines. It's the Kawasaki ZX10R. Let's have a look. Jonathan Rea has won 6 consecutive World Superbike Championships from 2005 till 2020. In 2021, Kawasaki was tied in the championship with Yamaha with equal number of wins. And we see that racing legacy loaded in this bike. This bike deserves the numbers to be screamed out just like its 13,500 RPM redline tach counter. So let's do the numbers. It is a 998cc inline 4 screamer with a double overhead cam 16 valves configuration that belts out a whopping 200 bhp at 13,000 RPM and 150 Nm of torque. For a bike that weighs just 200 kilos wet, that is a phenomenal 1 bhp per kilo. It is a 6-speed with a slipper clutch, but more on that later. With such power to weight ratio, you get a 0 to 100 in a mere 2.6 seconds. There is no point discussing top speed on these bikes since ZX10R has been crossing the 300 km/h mark for over a decade now. On the ZX10R, I have shifted from first to second at 155 km/h, barely redlining it. Tank capacity is 17 liters or 4.5 gallons US. That gives you a range of around 255 kilometers with moderate riding. For this bike, I define moderate riding as cruising at 150 km/h on 6th. This bike is loaded with rider aids and features. You get an electronic cruise control, though I'm not really sure why you get a cruise control on a racetrack bike. The other aids are mostly racing oriented. You get Kawasaki Launch control to keep the front wheel down during race starts, intelligent ABS that you can tune to your requirements from maximum feedback around corners, engine braking control mated to the slipper clutch to manage fishtailing, dual quickshifter for both upshifting and downshifting, Kawasaki corner management that gives you cornering traction control, and you can dial each and every parameter to suit your needs before you hit the track. Or you can go old school and do everything with just your feedback and switch everything off. This bike needs special mention in terms of suspension. It is a fully adjustable inverted balance free fork Showa suspension in the front, wherein you can dial in rebound, compression and preload in the front. Suspension is rather stiff straight off the factory. To give you better feedback and travel is 12 cm or 4.7 inches. Rear suspension is a horizontal backlink unit to increase mass centralization. It is a gas charged shock and is compression, rebound and preload adjustable. This bike also gets an electronic steering damper to keep the front end steady in case of unexpected jolts or bumps often found on Pennsylvania roads. Brembo takes care of the braking department with 330mm dual discs in the front. ABS is an intelligent system that is quite subtle, trying to avoid the heavy juddering or feedback that one feels in most ABS systems. Rear brake is a 220mm disc. Let me show you how I sit on the bike. I'm 165 cm tall or 5 feet 6 inches. Seat height is at 835mm or 32.9 inches. It may seem a little high, but then this is not designed to ride through New York City rush hour traffic. The rear set foot pegs are designed to lean the bike on track so that you do not have to change your toe sliders at every track session. Evidently, it is a committed and aggressive riding stance to make you as aerodynamic as possible. Talking about aerodynamics, this bike is a direct product of extensive wind tunnel results, and you get to see them in the design of the front end, the impressive bubble that takes care of the winds at high speeds, avoiding head wobbles, and the rear winglets that help in downforce. In 2022 in the USA, the ZX10R comes in metallic matte grey and KRT editions. The ABS version is priced at $18,199, which is actually $600 more than the Yamaha R1, $300 more than the Suzuki Gixxer 1000R, and $1,700 more than the Honda 1000RR. That makes it the most expensive Japanese superbike out there for 2022. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think this price is justified with all the tech that is going in? Maybe? Probably? What do you think of the ZX10R? Have you ridden a 1000cc track bike before? Have you been on track? I'd like to know your comments. Do leave your comments in the comment section down below, and I'll be replying to your comments. And I'll be definitely seeing you in the next one. Until then, ride safe.